Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Reservation Roundup with head coach Dan Christman. This is a 446 Sports production. We're at Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe here in Pineville, Louisiana. I'm Thomas Scully, the voice of the Tioga Indians football. Billy French will hopefully be joining us later as he's actually calling games at the reservation tonight for the 7th and 8th grade group. And, of course, behind the scenes, always pushing the buttons and keeping us in line, Shane Henry. And, of course, we couldn't do this without our title sponsor, Kingstop Chevron and 28 East Chevron. Coach, it's rivalry week here. You guys are going to ride down the road, take on 2-0 Pineville. How's the week been, and what's the preparation when you're playing a rivalry team?
Well, we try to stay even keel, and we just build that road. We're building a little bit at a time this week, and emotions are going to be high because it is a rivalry week. So, it is what it is at this point. You go out and you play the game.
Sure.
And all week long, I just tell the kids, hey, trust your eyes, trust them, and do your assignments, be disciplined, and you'll be okay.
Sure. And we're going to get more into that Pineville contest later in the week, Coach. But let's talk about last week's game. And that huge win against Leesville, 56-20 win at the reservation. Not only was it your first win of the season, but it was your first win as a head coach. How was that? How was the week? What was the message after the game to your players?
Just pride. You know how proud I was of them and what they accomplished. I really was pleased with the defense. The offense is going to get theirs, with the talent that they have, but defensively, we choked the run off. We had mentioned that last week, and we turned them into 50-50 balls, and I thought the DBs played well for the most part, and defensively up front, we did a great job against the run.
Yeah, and offensively, of course, Kenny Ponche, not only was he had the cool Southern Cool Air play of the game, the first play of the game, 53-yard run, he bounced it outside. What were you trying to establish in that first series, you and Coach Landry? What were y'all trying to establish?
Well, really, you always establish the run, and to believe it or not, our passing game helps that. So going into the game, we always have to figure out how they're going to roll their coverage to a good receiver, and they were rolling it. To roll it, they were leaving themselves vulnerable to the run to the weak side, and that's what we attacked.
Yeah, Kenny had over 259 yards rushing, a couple touchdowns. Of course, he was also the Jason Hawk Player of the Week for the Louisiana Farm Bureau. But not only did he have a huge night, Mr. Tarver had a huge night for you as well.
He did. In fact, Jackson has been playing really well on offense and defense for us. And I believe he had a big interception down there, and I'm very happy for him. He's playing real well.
He did. He had 2 touchdowns.
He did.
He had an interception, had a fumble recovery, and he forced a fumble. And then he was also our 446 Sports Player of the Week. And, he came in. Kenny needed a couple of breaths. He came in, and Coach, the moves that guy made in the secondary, and you talked about it, as they were trying to keep double coverage on Kerwin. Once Tarver got in that secondary, there was only one guy. It was that high safety. That's the only guy that could make a play on him. He couldn't make a play because Tarver was out there spinning and dancing, and he couldn't even make a tackle on him.
He's a lot stronger than you think he is. And when he gets in that hole, he has some good moves. And he is. When he can be, he's a lot stronger. He's a lot more explosive than you think he is. So he has a lot of talent. Thank goodness he's a junior.
Yeah. Unbelievable 1-2 punch.
Oh, yes. You have power and some speed with Kenny, then you bring this elusive kid in, and it just really helps.
Yeah, and of course, like you said, the passing game opened it up, and Case and Johnson, once again, just an unbelievable night with the ball, getting the ball down the field. They tried to go one-on-one with him in the first half, and it didn't work too well for Leesville.
No, in fact, on one of the plays, they were trying to spin a safety, and he still got behind them. And there's a reason why he's committed to Tech. So you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He makes all of us better coaches when you have talent out there. It really does.
Sure. You go up 21-0 to nothing quickly in the first quarter. But the offensive line, Coach, the domination by that offensive line all night long. I'm talking not just 2 and 3 yards at a time. And we had Coach Brumfield, Coach Book on here last week, and they just talked about how they prepared these guys. But those guys all night long for 4 quarters, nonstop, just pounded Leesville up and down that field. What can you say about that group?
Well, they're really the hardest working group out there. They're not doing interviews. I doubt any of them gets a date with the homecoming queen. So, the truth is they just go out and they work. The coaches, the offensive line coaches, and those kids, they actually, they start this summer and they'll go to a camp down south and spend 3 or 4 days down there. And he says it's a bonding thing. And I don't know if going out for 2 days down there is a bonding thing, but they take ownership in that stuff. And they're the hardest working group we got.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Coach Brumfield, Coach Book talked about. And even telling those guys, hey, look, y'all go on home. We're done with practice, and they just wanted more. They wanted more. And you're right, that bonding that they have, that togetherness that they have, it shows on the field because they're picking each other up. They're double teaming. They're working together. The communication that those guys have to have. And then you still got AJ in the backfield right alongside of them. So that's kind of like your sixth man. And he's doing an unbelievable job just still creating holes for Tarver and for Ponche.
Well, in reality, we only have a couple of seniors on the offensive line. And so the leadership of Tucker Landry, I have to mention that. Him and then AJ coming in. It's just showing the kids, what it takes to, to work hard every day and prepare every day to be the best they can be. So, I think that in time, the one thing about this whole group that I've been very pleased with is our senior leadership. The seniors have done a really good job this year in staying even keel and leading us in the right way because we are a young team.
Well, you know what I thought was amazing, and Billy and I saw this during the game. You look up, you guys call a timeout or there's a hydration timeout, and there's your seniors with the water jugs. They're running them out to the field. If they were not on offense or on defense, those are the guys that were running the water jugs out on the field, and that says a lot about what's been able to occur in a short time.
Well, I knew it was a decent good group, I thought. Well, I underestimated them as leaders. They're really a good group of leaders. And, I have fun with them, every day. They drive me crazy some days, and some days they're just fun to be around, So I like a relaxed atmosphere. And so I don't get real keen and fired up except on Fridays. That's my day that I get fired up, and they kind of leave me alone on those days.
Sure. Best thing to do on Fridays, don't talk to Coach.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Absolutely. And then, of course, special teams, Ethan Bridges with a huge night, Coach. He had 3 touchbacks, and he was 8 for 8 extra points. What a difference.
What a big difference. And, here's another guy that struggled the week before. So Sunday afternoon, I show up, get ready to do some work and whatever, and he's out there with trip pressures, and they working, trying to correct the thing. So that's what I'm talking about. They're real good at taking ownership. Okay, I messed this up. Let me go to work. Let me fix this. So we'll see. Every week has their challenges. We have a big challenge this week. We're just striving and working hard to try to be the best team we can be.
I thought the neatest thing with Ethan, you get a penalty against Leesville, and he kicks it up through the uprights, and he raises his own arms up as to say that he had a field goal. So, just the relaxation of that young man, and to be able to, like you said, turn the corner, come back and do what he did this week after having a tough week 1, and you said it, hey, not everybody's going to be perfect, but the fact that they're putting in the work, they're doing all the things, that's a commitment to them, and know that their time's coming to an end. We're rolling already into week 3.
That's correct. It's going fast.
It's going fast, and next week's a short week. So before you know it, we'll be halfway through. But again, just what an unbelievable offensive performance. And when you think about what you were able to do to them, you talked about it briefly. Leesville's quarterback, Broom, he had over 100 yards rushing the week before and over 200 yards passing. Coach, you held the entire offensive rushing to 35 yards, 27 carries. Defensively, it was just where it kind of like picked up where it left off with Sterlington. The defense gave you the ball back so many times in the first half on a good field, on the right side of the field most of the night. I mean, how easy is it to be able to make calls and do that when you're on the plus side all night long?
Well, I can't. It becomes easier because your playbook's completely open. But I cannot emphasize how good our football defensive staff did getting the kids ready. And then up front, I really, when you run that style of defense, our Mike linebacker, and I'm looking right at him, is very, very important. He has to make all the calls and get the guys in position. So it's worked really well. And they just did a fantastic job making them one-dimensional, and that's what our goal was.
Well, and you did that by getting Broom just to throw the ball. And most of that success was in the second half. It wasn't in the first half. So you were able to do that. You came out in the second half and ended up you scored 21 points in the second half, and they scored 13. Fourth quarter, neither team scored, but just an unbelievable matchup, a great win, great team win once again, to be able to score that many points against a really good Leesville team and a well-coached team as well.
Yes, they are very well coached, and Coach causing them, and I'm sure they're going to bounce back from it. They do a fantastic job over there. There's a reason why the last 2 out of the last 3 years they've been to the semifinals. So I know they'll get it corrected. And I'm proud of our effort. I don't care if we're up 50 or down 50, play hard.
And they did all night.
They did all night. And that has to be our mindset, It's just important to me that, we represent our school in the right way.
And then you got the JV come in, the younger guys, the Tuesday, and they can't, Coach, they play just as hard. For them to be on that field on Friday night under those lights after they played on Monday, that's all they want is an opportunity to get on that field Friday night.
Well, a lot of them play Monday, then Tuesday they have to be the scout team.
Exactly.
And so, they get beat up on Monday night and they get beat up on Tuesday and Wednesday. So when they, I'm happy for them when they get a chance to get out there and play. So, they're learning. They're learning from our seniors and the varsity kids. Okay, this is what we're setting. We're going to play hard. It doesn't matter about the time. It doesn't matter about the score. We're going to play hard. And that's all we can do.
Absolutely. Well, a huge win. Now we're 1-1 on the season. We get to look forward to a huge rivalry. We're going to take a short break here, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about this week's opponent. You're listening to the Reservation Roundup here at Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe with Coach Dan Christman, a 446 Productions.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
During National Cataract Awareness Month, Wallace Eye Associates is joining the American Academy of Ophthalmology to help prevent blindness by offering complimentary cataract screenings. If you're over 65 and noticing unusual changes in your vision, our free screenings can help determine if you have cataracts. Call us today to schedule your complimentary cataract screening. When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new Hook and Ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
We've all seen how quickly things can change. Everything from the world around us to the cost of things we use on a daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner to keep our family protected while still watching out for our pocketbook. I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. There's no better time than now to complete an insurance review to make sure you're properly covered and not paying too much. Whether it's in our office, at your home, or your place of business, let us help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your insurance...
Discover golf like never before at Links on the Bayou, Central Louisiana's hidden gem. Welcome to a golf experience like no other. Our Links-style design sets the stage for an exciting and unique adventure. 5 distinct tee boxes cater to every skill level, ensuring a game that's perfect for you. And when you're ready to refuel, head to Becky's Bunker Club for dining with a view and gear up in our pro shop. Ready to elevate your golfing experience? Tee off at Links on the Bayou today. Links on the Bayou, redefining the way you enjoy golf.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Welcome back, everyone, to Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe as you're listening to the Reservation Roundup here with Coach Dan Christman. I'm Thomas Scully. Of course, the voice of Tioga football, Billy French, is still not here yet. Coach and I are kind of laughing about it. He said, I think he hung you out to dry. He's at the 7th and 8th grade game at the reservation calling that as they take on Grant. So we'll let him go with that. So, again, Coach, big rivalry week here, taking on Pineville, a 2-0 Pineville team, new head coach, Justin Charles, brought in a few new coaches. Last year, 39-36 loss at the reservation against Pineville as Aiden Tate, who is now a senior, rushed for over 300 yards. But this year, different year, different team. What have you seen on film this week, and what does Pineville bring to you?
Well, I think they're a lot better this year than they were last year. And he's running up and down the field on the two teams I've seen. I think they're well coached and they're better on defense, I feel. And 23-6, they're pretty good hands.
Yeah, that's probably their go-to guys. And you look back, heading over there to Pineville. That's a tough place to play. How do you prepare you guys? What do you tell your guys, from that approach when you're going on the road, you're going into a great atmosphere of football on Friday night? How do you keep those guys locked in all week, Coach?
Well, we try to stay even keel. I'm not a big rah-rah guy to begin with. So at the end of it, we just, and the coaches tease me all the time, we're just trying to build a brick on that game plan. And hopefully by Thursday, we do the walkthroughs and they hit their assignments right. It is a challenge when you're going on the road, and it's not that far of a road. It's only about 5 miles from us. So, at the end of it, everybody knows each other. Yeah. And so, it's bragging rights, and I get that. As I've been doing this for 38 years, so I know there's a game next week. But this is important to the communities. And so, I want us to play really well. I really do.
And you talked about that, the community, and we talk about it being a rivalry. Those are not like they used to be. When those were huge, big district games, you're right down the road from each other. So that has kind of changed over time. But those players are still friends with each other. They still can communicate through social media. But to be able to keep your team locked in on the here and now, and, hey, we've got this game, but we also have another game, like you said earlier, next week. So we've got to just stay focused. You come off a huge win. How do you keep you guys just locked into, hey, we got to keep this process going from a mental standpoint, from a motivational standpoint? How do you do that?
Well, the players don't know this, but, when we get to Monday and we're installing the game plan and all that kind of stuff, it's not like a lot of schools do. We install, but we're studying. The kids go in and study. So in reality, we practice Tuesday, Wednesday, hard practices. I mean, really, we get after each other on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we're film watching. We film watch on Monday, and we after installing on Wednesday. We're constantly learning and watching the mistakes we make. So, because we're so thin, we're not, we only practice really hard twice a week.
Sure.
And Thursdays we clean whatever we got to clean up. So to keep them locked in is I try to keep them fresh. There's some weeks we'll run after practice, and then there's certain weeks we won't have to because I know that it's going to be a hard. Sturgeon, we didn't run a whole lot, because I knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. This is going to be a hard-fought game. I know they're going to be, Coach Charles is going to have that group ready, college coach. I know he's going to have some kind of something slick for us,
Sure.
So we just got to be ready to play. And, to stay even keel, we can't be too emotional because you'll get tired fast if that's the case.
Yeah. And talking about the keeping their feet under, they did such a great job against Leesville. You scored a lot of points. Offensively, the guys were on the field more than the defense was most of the night Friday. But you could see a difference where the recovery from the week before and that growth in that being in shape and being able to keep their feet under them. And you could see that energy level all the way through all 4 quarters, or to the end of the beginning of the 4th quarter before the younger guys came in. But just to see your guys all night long stay fresh, look fresh, that's a huge difference. Now you're going, you've been on the turf for 2 weeks. Now we'll get an opportunity to go play on grass. So that's going to be a difference too when it comes to that as well, a little bit. But again, huge week, huge game. We go in 1-1, they're 2-0. So the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable, of course, because they're going to pack the stands, and everybody just needs to show up. Make your way down that road. It's not that far.
No, like I said, it's you probably could yell real loud and you could hear each other on the other, from one town to the other. But we need this for football. We need these type of rivalries, and we need it. So it's a great sport. It's a great game, and I'm looking forward to see how we're going to hit each other in the mouth and see who responds to that. There's always something good and bad that happens in the course of the game. It's how you respond to it that's really important. So, I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be fun. Absolutely.
Well, look, we're going to take another short break. When we come back, I think we're going to get Coach Tripp up here to visit with us. You're listening to the Reservation Roundup here at Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe on 446 Sports.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
We've all seen how quickly things can change. Everything from the world around us to the cost of things we use on a daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner to keep our family protected while still watching out for our pocketbook. I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. There's no better time than now to complete an insurance review to make sure you're properly covered and not paying too much. Whether it's in our office, at your home, or your place of business, let us help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your insurance checkup, whether auto, home, or life, talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
During National Cataract Awareness Month, Wallace Eye Associates is joining the American Academy of Ophthalmology to help prevent blindness by offering complimentary cataract screenings. If you're over 65 and noticing unusual changes in your vision, our free screenings can help determine if you have cataracts. Call us today to schedule your complimentary cataract screening. When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Reservation Roundup here at Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe. It's a 446 Sports production. We've got Coach Trip Prestridge along with a couple special teams guys. Kind of a jack-of-all-trades group right here, Coach.
Yeah, we got some of our special teams guys. I mean, it's DB's night, but Jack Tarver here next to me, he does a little bit of everything, offense, defense, and then a return guy in the back on punt and kickoff return. We have the kicker next to him. That's Ethan Bridges. He's a junior, too. Had a really good week last week. And then Tucker Landry down there on the end. He's our long snapper.
Yeah, and we actually talked about all three of them. Coach Christman and I talked about all three. Of course, Jackson being the player of the game, 446 player of the game. 2 touchdowns, an interception, a fumble, and a fumble breakup, and played all night on both sides of the ball. Coach, so what kind of motor does this guy have to be on the field all night long to do what he does and to be the fill-in for Ponche?
Yeah, he's a special guy. I mean, he's just what comes to mind when I think of Jack is just football player. Any position, he could be quarterback, a running back, whatever. He's going to play as hard as he can. That fumble was really like a heck of a play. I mean, he stripped it out himself and just was holding the football. So he forced it and recovered it himself. So that was pretty special.
Well, I told Billy up in the box Friday night, I said, I'm trying to figure out how to get his dance moves because every time he got into the secondary, he was spinning. Of course, one high safety, those guys didn't have a chance to put their hands on you. Jack, how great was that to get into that secondary? What was it like?
It was amazing. I mean, just being able to get him back there to begin with from the blockers and all the linemen that I had, that right there was just good enough. But once I get to the secondary and just seeing the one high safety, making an open field tackle is quite hard, and all you got to do is get a little shifty and you get right by him.
All right, well, I expect you to show me those moves. Coach, talking about Ethan, you know, the week before had a tough night, but then he comes back, and Coach talked about a little bit of the work he put in on that Sunday, and then comes back Friday night, 3 touchbacks, 8 for 8 on conversions.
Yeah, so, I mean, nobody notices the kicker on a football team unless he does something wrong, and I kind of challenged him. Me and him went up there together on Sunday, and I kind of came up a new rule with him this year. I said, you miss a field goal, extra point, whatever, you're not going to sit anywhere. You're just going to stand by me. Like, me and you are together. They can be mad at both of us, but I got your back, and it just happens that I guess the work paid off last week because he had a heck of a game. So I'm proud of him. He's just a junior, so he'll be back with us next year with Jack here. So he had a good night, and I'm proud of him, but that's over with, and it's time to do it again. So
sure. Well, and tell us, how does it help when he can flip a field like that? You know, and you don't have to worry about anybody returning it because he's putting it in the back of that end zone.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, our defensive coordinator's best friend's a really good kicker. I mean, if he knows they can't return it and they, you know, down inside the 30-yard line every time, it's a huge advantage to us, especially on a defense. And the guys screaming the loudest are those starters on defense that know they can, you know, start at the 20 instead of, you know, at the 40 or 50 on a good return. So
yeah. And then, of course, on the end, the little guy, Mr. Tucker Landry, you know, we were talking about him also in the first half. You know, I look up, Tucker's playing deep snap, right? And he's also the center, and he's coming in on the D-line. And then he had a Bobby Boucher moment where he's out there bringing the water bottles. This guy is no stopping him either. Tell what kind of guy is this, Tucker?
I think that's what kind of summarizes our team in general. It don't matter if it's the head football coach, if it's a special teams coach, or a running backs coach. Everybody's just going to do what they got to do to help out the team. And Tucker's no different there. I always tell him he's a specialty guy to me. He's not a lineman to me. He's a long snapper. So he is part of the specialty program, even though he looks a little bit different. And Coach Christman's boys, they both punted for me too, and one's 6'7", 300 pounds. So I always joke with him saying that's my punter, not the starting left tackle at Louisiana Tech. So
Sure.
Those big guys need love too, and they're special players.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, talk a little bit about your DBs and the challenge that you had this week against Leesville.
Leesville, you know, predominantly last year was, you know, they had a really, really good running back. He's at Minnesota now, and this year they had a quarterback they wanted to lean on a little bit more and throw the ball. So our guys had to accept the challenge. They had 2 really good receivers. We gave up 2 pretty deep balls, but other than that, you know, 2 touchdowns that were pretty deep. Somebody that's not here with us is Curvin. I mean, he's signed Louisiana Tech, committed there right now. He came in and said, this guy's not catching the ball anymore. Like, just I'm coming in the game and I'm guarding him. So that just shows what kind of senior leadership we have. And in the secondary, we have guys that have gone on to play at the next level. You know, Jacorian's at UL right now. And then Max is all the way up in North or South Dakota somewhere playing some football in the secondary. So we've had a lot of guys go on to do good things, and same things expected with these guys. My dad coached defensive backs at Tioga for a long time, so it's something that I hold personal to me. You know, you're going to go out there and play as hard as you can, and that's just what we're going to do.
Well, and having guys like Korlinski and Angelo coming in that secondary as well.
Yeah, I mean, Korlinski started for us for, 3 years now. He's our only senior. He played really good. He's undersized, probably not the fastest, but he's going to play. He's going to play hard. And then Angelo stepped up for me, had some injuries and some other things going on, so he was pretty much all I had left. And he stepped in there and didn't complain and guarded their second best guy for me all night. So I'm really proud of him just stepping up and doing what he needed to do for the team.
Well, and the beauty is you have guys that want to be back there, that love the challenge, and there's no doubt you guys have been challenged. You played 2 really good teams, a state championship team and a semifinalist team, and then now you get to head down the road, Jack, to play a rivalry in Pineville.
Yes, sir.
How's that?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, honestly, I think this is the most serious game that I think on the schedule, especially because of what they've said and what happened last year and what kind of name we have as Tioga. And we gotta step up and do what we gotta do.
Yeah. Tucker, turn that mic on for me if you don't mind. Tell me, what is it to you as a senior playing a rivalry team like this in week 3 of the season?
I mean, it's great. I've played them for 4 years, or this will be the 4th year, and so I know a lot about what they do, and I know a lot of their players there. So, I mean, it's just going to be fun. It's just going to be competitive to play against all them.
Yeah. And Ethan, being the junior, you know, now you're going on a grass field. You've been on a turf field for the last 2 weeks. What's the difference in your preparation going on to a grass field compared to a turf field?
Well, the difference is definitely the grass, I feel like, will be more slipperier. So actually last Monday or Sunday, Coach Tripp and I tried to go to Pineville to kick on their field to get my mentality, mindset right. And their whole team was already practicing. So we just took a U-turn in the parking lot. We were like, nope, we're not going to deal with them. We're just going to go out there early when we get there tomorrow, and we're just going to get the mindset right, stay focused all game, all day, all night, and just hopefully play it the best I can possible, no matter if we're on a grass field or a turf field.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, guys. Guys, I appreciate you coming in.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're going to take another little short break, and we'll be back to wrap up the show. This is the Reservation Roundup here at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe in Pineville. You're listening to a 446 Sports production.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
During National Cataract Awareness Month, Wallace Eye Associates is joining the American Academy of Ophthalmology to help prevent blindness by offering complimentary cataract screenings. If you're over 65 and noticing unusual changes in your vision, our free screenings can help determine if you have cataracts. Call us today to schedule your complimentary cataract screening. When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
During National Cataract Awareness Month, Wallace Eye Associates is joining the American Academy of Ophthalmology to help prevent blindness by offering complimentary cataract screenings. If you're over 65 and noticing unusual changes in your vision, our free screenings can help determine if you have cataracts. Call us today to schedule your complimentary cataract screening. When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in last dab reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Reservation Roundup here at Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe in Pineville. As we're with Coach Dan Christman. Coach, we're going to wrap this up. You and I didn't want to be out here by myself, so I asked you to come back. And I'm not going to let your food get too cold. But, you know, having those young men on here, just a different perspective. And like I was sharing with you, just their excitement. They're ready to get to another opponent, and especially a rivalry opponent.
Oh, yes, sir. They're just, it's hard to explain how much fun it is to be around the kids. And to see them work as hard as they do and then accomplish something like last week. And then looking forward to what's ahead of us in the future.
Yep.
We know Friday night's going to be a tough game. And we're just going to have to go there and there's going to be, don't watch the scoreboard, let's just play.
Yeah. And having Coach Tripp on, and being able to visit with him, and, you tell him maybe a story about his dad being Tioga and going to Tech, and it's so great to be able to have that in their family, and to have that, you can have those conversations with your dad, and talk ball, and so that's always an advantage when you have, your sons, you have a son on your staff and you have a son at Tech, being able to talk ball with those guys, that common denominator of that kind of friendship and that love that you have for each other as dads.
Well, it's a blessing when you get to work with your son, or you see your child in something that you've done for a long time. Having Tripp and Troy around, Troy will send me a text, hey, good job. If he doesn't, I know I didn't do a good job. And having my son, he would tell you there's days that it's fun, and there's days that I'm probably a little harder on him than I am anybody else. But he has a tendency to take one ball to a receiver drill, and it drives me crazy. And, hey, how many footballs you got? And he'll show me 2, and I go, okay, you got me.
Well, I'm very blessed as well to have 2. I have one at Marksville that's offense coordinator, and I have one at Kinder that's an offense helps call the offense. The funniest thing is the younger one is always calling. He's always got the negative part of we can fix this, we can do better. And I've got the older one going, man, I'm just ready for game day here because I hate the grind of practice all week. So we know how that is.
No doubt. I just, as a dad, you just sit there and just watching them develop in a profession, like coaching, which is, it's just an awesome profession. It really is, And, coaches probably spend more time with other people's kids than they do your own. So when, in this situation, I got to coach my kids, and it's just been, I've been blessed. It's the best way to describe it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, Friday night's almost here, less than 24 hours. We'll be over there on that Rebel Hill getting ready to take on those Pineville Rebels. The night before, Coach, what do you go through mentally the night before? Are you checking boxes? How's your night before work for, coaches in the past don't get much sleep because they're thinking about so much. What does your night before look like?
Well, at some point, I'll fall asleep, but I'm probably up around 4:30, and I just go over situations. Onside kick, when the onside kick, whatnot. What plays, or what we're going to do in certain situations, and then you always rethink. Okay, did I cover this? Did I go over this? Do they fake punts? What was a fake punts? Just all the scenarios that possibly could happen, of course, in the game. Clock management, and then is the kid sharpened? Are they ready to go? And at the end of it, it's just fun watching and being involved in this game. And I don't want to hear that cannon not one time.
I got you. You and a few other people, because that cannon's pointed right across the other side of that field. There's no doubt. Good thing it's just a cannon. But anyway, look, game is here. Like they say, some people say the hay's in the barn. It's ready to play ball. And so look forward to that big rivalry night tomorrow night at Rebel Stadium. Come and pack the house over there. Bring the noisemakers. Bring that voice. Bring that red. Come on and chant on for those Tioga Indians as they take on Pineville in a huge rival game in week 3 of the season. Already week 3, like we talked about. Next week, Coach, we won't have a show because we'll be at Richwood on Thursday night.
Thursday night, we play Richwood, which they're improved. They beat West Washita earlier in the season. I think we in week 1, and it's going to be another challenge on the road.
Yep. So back-to-back weeks on the road, and then we should be back home at the reservation after that. But this week, it's all about Pineville tomorrow night. Pack the house over there at Pineville Stadium. You've been listening to the Reservation Roundup here with Coach Dan Christman. I'm Thomas Scully saying good night from Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe here in Pineville.